how Elon Musk's 5-step engineering process can revolutionize your business. Now, imagine running a business where every decision is backed not by some wishy-washy leadership meme, but by the rock-solid genius of engineering, where results and efficiency isn't just an idea, but a real outcome. Now, what if I told you that the same approach that I'm about to share with you not only fuels SpaceX rockets, but could be the secret to skyrocketing your own business this year? So I watched an interview with Elon Musk on the Lex Fridman podcast recently.
Tesla Autopilot. It's probably one of the most intelligent real-world AI systems in the world,
where he shared his unique approach to solving complex problems, which made me really stop and think. A method he used to fuel some of the most ambitious projects in his stable of billion-dollar businesses. But here's the important bit. This isn't just for engineers or techies. It's a strategy that can revolutionize any business, whether you're running a startup or managing a multinational corporation. So in today's video, we're breaking down Elon's 5-step engineering process, revealing how it's not just about designing rockets or electric cars, but how it can be your ultimate tool for business success. We'll explore each step in detail, showing you how to think like Musk, innovate like Musk, and most importantly, how to apply these principles to supercharge your business strategy. Now, I've already started using some of these ideas in my own business, and you'll see why later on in the video, how this is even possible and why I've been compelled to share these concepts with you. I'm telling you, this isn't just another business strategy. It's really a game changer. So let's jump right in with the first of the 5 steps. Make the requirements less dumb. Challenge assumptions. Musk emphasizes the importance of questioning assumptions, even if they come from smart people or senior leaders. He argues that requirements from smart people are often the most dangerous because they're less likely to be questioned. Does that sound familiar in your organization? Are you that smart person we're talking about, or is it someone else on your team? Or even worse, is it more than one person? An actionable tip is to conduct brainstorming sessions where team members can question existing requirements, even if historically they thought they were necessary. Use techniques like the 5 whys to dig deeper into the reasoning behind each requirement. Essentially, keep asking why until you get to the root of the rationale in place, so that you can help to uncover any flaws in the previous assumptions. Accountability. Attach names to each requirement to develop real accountability. So this will ensure that someone is responsible for justifying its necessity. That way, smart or senior people don't just swan in, make broad comments or suggestions, and leave you carrying the can when it goes wrong. And even if you are the founder or the CEO, these suggestions may come from an advisor, an investor, or even a co-founder. Another actionable tip is to create a requirements document where each item has an assigned owner. This person must provide a 5 whys rationale for why that requirement is essential. Real-world example. In SpaceX, the design requirements for rockets are rigorously scrutinized. For instance, the Falcon 9's rocket specifications were refined through continuous questioning and validation, leading to a more efficient design. In my own business, we had a set of processes put in place by a previous operations manager. When the team were delivering a project recently, I asked them why they were running the onboarding process in a particular way, because it seemed a little bit cumbersome. Their answer, it was because that was the existing process. To which I replied, if you see something in a process that no longer makes sense, change it, improve it, make it easier, faster, or more efficient, which is now an approach we implement on a daily and weekly basis. Number 2, delete something even if it needs to go back in. Start lean. Musk encourages starting lean and building up only when necessary. He suggests deleting parts or processes that are not essential, warning that the bias will be to add things in just in case. Musk argues that each requirement or constraint must be accountable to a specific person rather than a whole department, as it's easier to question its relevance. He also says that it's okay to remove more than you think is necessary and add it back in if it's needed later on. That way, you're more likely to be left with only the essential parts of whatever it is you're building. An actionable tip is to conduct a value stream mapping exercise to visualize processes and identify non-value adding activities, using this to streamline your workflow. Avoid the just-in-case mentality and resist the urge to add things into the process for fear of future needs. Instead, focus on what's necessary for the current project. An actionable tip is to implement a must-have versus a nice-to-have criteria for the project features. Only include items that meet the must-have criteria in the initial phases. Real-world example. At Tesla, the development of the Model S involved eliminating unnecessary features that complicated the design. This focus on essentials allowed for a more efficient production process and a superior product. In my own organization, we made what I thought was an essential hire. This person did a great job, but cost the organization a fair amount in cash. As we tightened our systems and processes, I wondered whether we could dissolve that role into the rest of the team. It was a risky move, and I'm not sure the team were fully on board with it at the time, but a year later, our revenues were up by 20% and our overall impact was up by 30%. So it turned out that we needed that hire at the time, but as we grew, we didn't need it anymore. But it did reveal that we needed resources in other areas of the business, which we're currently working on. Following on from this is number 3, simplify or optimize the design. The holistic perspective. Musk believes that the most common mistakes smart engineers and in fact entrepreneurs make is trying to optimize something that shouldn't exist in the first place. He emphasizes the importance of working through the first 2 steps before attempting to optimize. Musk argues that each engineer or entrepreneur needs to take a holistic view of the project, pointing out previous mistakes where engineers or entrepreneurs invested enormous resources in reducing the weight of, say, the rocket's engine without adequately addressing the equivalent problem of reducing the payload weight first. So an actionable tip could be to encourage people from different teams so you have different perspectives to review what's being done so you get a more rounded perspective on which to make decisions from. Iterative testing. Musk suggests to use prototypes to test ideas early and often. So this could be a light version of your marketing material, your product, or even processes. It helps to identify unnecessary complexities before they become ingrained in the final product. An actionable tip could be to implement rapid prototyping techniques. So for example, if you're looking at using a new CRM or accounting tool, use it just for a few days or weeks with the intention of seeing whether or not it fits what you're trying to do, knowing that you can cancel that trial or move on to another system without being committed to the first one you've tried out. Real world example. SpaceX's iterative approach to rocket design with a build and test prototypes like the Starship allows them to simplify designs on real world performance rather than theoretical optimization. In my own organization, we've been looking for a new project management tool and have quickly tested everything from Google Sheets to Monday.com, HubSpot, and everything else in between. But we knew that we were just testing and not committing, which I could see gave the team a different perspective, which meant that they could be brutally honest about whether they liked or hated that particular tool because they knew we weren't committed to it just yet. Accelerate with the right speed and direction. Musk supports the drive to go faster, but warns against directing efforts in the wrong direction, saying, if you're digging your grave, don't dig faster. Or if you're going in the wrong direction, don't put your foot down. He also recommends an accelerated agile approach, but only after the first 3 steps of this process are satisfied to ensure that you're moving in the right direction in the first place. An actionable tip could be to set clear milestones and objectives for projects. So using agile methodology, which means to break down tasks into manageable sprints which last short periods of time, ensuring that each sprint aligns with the overall project goal. Now, I know all of this seems obvious, but in practice it's rarely done and it can be hard to manage. So the way to best manage this is to implement feedback loops as a way to embed the change into the behavior of either yourself or your team, and to quickly establish feedback loops to track progress and make the necessary adjustments. This also helps to maintain momentum because you're sprinting whilst ensuring the team stays on the right path. Another tip is to have regular stand-up meetings, which means they only last for 10 to 15 minutes, so no time for donuts and long conversations. And this is to discuss progress and challenges. So you're using these sessions to pivot strategies in real time, like there and then, not weeks away. Real world example. Tesla's production ramp up for the Model 3 involved aggressive timelines. By focusing on iterative improvements and feedback from the assembly line, they were able to significantly increase production efficiency. In my organization, we tried selling online courses, but realized we didn't have the digital marketing capability to reach large enough audiences that would convert down to download sales. And instead of focusing on small ticket items like a £100 course, we realized that our ideal customer was actually larger organizations who would literally pay us 500 or 1,000 times more than that to deliver regional or national initiatives. Number 5, automate. The timing of automation. Now, as much as everyone is talking about it, Musk warns against automating before addressing the earlier points. He relates the story of streamlining a robotic process to build battery mats in the Tesla Model 3, investing loads of time and effort to automate and streamline a problematic process before discovering that the map was no longer required. So an actionable tip is, before implementing any automation, conduct a thorough review of processes to ensure they are actually optimized, meaning that you actually need every step of that process, it's lean, and there are no unnecessary steps. Then, where possible, and it should be in most cases, measure the effectiveness of that current workflow. So does it make things go faster, slower? Is it easier? Is it more cost effective? Measure it and use that as the way you'll decide on whether or not you're ready to automate. Continuous improvement. Once you know these processes work, look for ways to automate repetitive tasks to free up human resources for more strategic thinking work. An actionable tip is, when you've identified those repetitive tasks, use tools like Zapier to either automate the tools you're currently using or connect them together and streamline things. Real world example. At Tesla, the initial automation of battery production processes faced challenges due to unoptimized workflows. After addressing the underlying issues, they successfully automated the process to enhance efficiency. In my own organization, we spent a lot of time onboarding students onto our courses because we used Google Forms, which offers very little to no automation. It also meant that even though their data was safe, we couldn't really signpost or recruit them into other projects or programs. We now use a combination of Zoom automations and HubSpot to send a set of preloaded sequence messages, which takes care of all of this end to end. So whilst primarily developed for engineering projects, this process can be applied to lots of areas in your business and arguably in life. So you can spend time on the things you enjoy in your business the most. So there you have it, folks, a masterclass in innovation straight from the mind of Elon Musk himself. By making requirements less dumb, deleting unnecessary parts of processes, simplifying things, accelerating timelines, and automating strategically, you can streamline your operations, boost efficiency, and stay ahead of the competition. So until next time, let me know which one of these steps you found most useful, and I'll catch you in next week's video. Ultra and out.